Gerda Steyn is on course to win her third consecutive Comrades Marathon, while Aleksey Beresnev has now overtaken Kwena as the leader of the men's race. Newzroom Afrika's Kwena Moabelo is at the race and waiting for the top runners to go past the Keto Reach. He joins us now live. A very good morning to you, Kwena. Tell us about some of the interesting takes so far, considering that we're about 3 hours and 30 minutes into the race.
Good morning to you, Aldrin. Indeed, as you say, we are here at Keto Reach. We are waiting for the leading men to pass here any second now. And as you've just mentioned, Aleksey Beresnev, who, interestingly, looking at his strategy, he's been running alone, breaking away from the chasing pack. And if you look at the chasing pack, a number of those that are in the chasing pack are some of the most experienced runners. I can point about 6 or 7 that have won this particular race before. So it's very interesting what his strategy is going into this race. But, you know, one thing about this race is that sometimes the strategy is very important. So one wonders what Aleksey Beresnev's strategy is. But then if you look at the chasing pack, they are still bunched up together. And one expects them at some point, maybe with about 10 kilometers, that's when you'll start to see the experienced runners like Tetedijane going through. And the big question again is that can Tetedijane make it 3 in a row? Remember, he's only running his first up run as we are having this first up run, the first in 5 years because of the COVID years, but also because of the roadworks that have been happening in and around Moses Mabhida and some of the areas for the past 2 years. So the race had to be changed a little bit. But so the strategy will also be very important if you look at the likes of Kwena, who led for most of the part, and then you then was overtaken by Beresnev. But then the chasing pack is the ones that I think many people should be worried about. Gerda Steyn, as you said, she managed to break away from the chasing pack, and she looks quite comfortable. One thing about Gerda Steyn is that she's able to maintain that pace, and once she breaks it, and by the time they pass here, I don't know if you can see further there, there's a sign that says 28 kilometers to go. So by the time you get here, there's still a lot of running to be done by the top runners themselves. And speaking of Gerda, Lungelo, I'm not sure if you are able to just steal a shot, if you may. There is a gentleman there in a tall gentleman in a green top of Pantani. That is Gerda Steyn's husband. You can see he is checking and looking very closely at the times because they are also expected to come through around here any minute now. So I think at this point, Aldrin, it's a question of wait and see. But any minute now, Beresnev, who is leading, should be coming through.
And of course, we know how Gerda Steyn performed during the Two Oceans Marathon. Is she on track, though, to take this title as well?
Well, looking at her experience and in how she has been running, smart money, as they say, is on Gerda Steyn to win this one. I think it's a question of who of the chasing runners in the women's will be able to break her going into the last 20, 25, or even as far as 15 kilometers. But the further she goes and opens the gap, and I think she has found her purple patch. Remember, Two Oceans Marathon, and she also will be going to Paris representing South Africa at the Olympic Games. She has found her purple patch. She is on top form, and she has made this race her own, really. I think she's one of those that will continue to dominate. So it's a question of the likes of Jele, the likes of Semolina, whether they will be able to try and catch up and what their strategy is going into that last part of the race. And I mean, from here, if you look at it, they've just passed the no-name hill, and they are approaching Keto Reach now. As soon as they come up here, the race will go down a little bit, and then, well, as we here they are. That is the motorbike. I think Lungelo, our cameraman, will get the picture. Those are the motorbikes that are coming through with the top men. Just want to get up here also so that I can get a clearer picture. But Lungelo, our cameraman, will show you as the top men are coming through, the leading motorbikes that are escorting them through, ushering them in. Exactly at the 28-kilometer mark to go. Aleksey Beresnev, who is a bit of a surprise, really, for many runners, Aldrin, because not too many people had him in mind. There are a lot of people talking about, particularly being an up run, those that have done it before, as we are waiting to come through any second now here at Keto Reach.
Well, interesting as well, Kwena, considering that the weather is also playing along, considering what happened in the earlier this week with some of the inclement weather that was experienced in KwaZulu-Natal. But of course, the Comrades Marathon Association saying that it won't affect the race.
Well, the weather, apart from the picture of one presenter wearing gloves, Aldrin, don't let that fool you. It's not as bad. The sun has come out. Well, that's the man himself, Aldrin, just passing us. Aleksey Beresnev leading very comfortable. You can see swinging his arms on his heels. 3:37.54, so it expected that he will be coming down to Scottsville. You expect him to come up there just before 11 o'clock. And you can see also the very interesting thing as we await the second runner and the chasing batch to come through that it's a bit of a distance. And that should be very interesting as to how the chasing pack, as I said, most of them, the chasing pack, they are the experienced runners. So I wonder what it is, because it looks like quite a bit of time if you look at it, because anything more than a minute really in running terms, it's really, really a long time. But back to your question, Aldrin, of the issue of weather. The sun has really come out. It's beautiful weather here. And naturally, as expected, yesterday we had a bit of rain and it was cold and the inclement weather that we were talking about. But they did say that the Comrades Marathon Association that it is expected to be cool. And for the other runners, the 19,000 that are not elite runners that are coming through, because remember, they spend the whole day here, so you expect cooler conditions to calm them down. I think there was a year, if memory serves well, around 2016, when it was the hottest Comrades that has been run, and you had half of the field that could not finish because of the heat on that particular Sunday. So today the cool conditions will allow the runners, really those that are expected to take longer than 11 hours on the road, to cool and be able to go through. And these are the marshals that I will be ushering through the leading pack. And again, as you can see, Aldrin, to the point that I was making, quite a gap that Aleksey Beresnev has opened from the chasing pack.
And the question is, will he be able to maintain that? That is Kwena Moabelo there joining us from the Comrades Marathon race. And will Tete Dijana be able to defend his title? That's another big question. But let's see what's going to happen after that 28 kilometers that is still left.